We have talked before about Senate Bill 92. Give us an update on how that is progressing, Senator.
Senate Bill 92, the Missouri Rural Access to Capital Act, was actually perfected out on the Senate floor this week. One more vote and we'll be headed over to the House. Senate Bill 92 is basically modeled after rural investment incentives proven to bring results in Georgia, Ohio, and Utah. The legislation would allow private capital firms to claim a tax credit for money invested in rural businesses. The program would be administered by the Department of Economic Development, which would certify rural funds for the purpose of facilitating investments in businesses that might not otherwise be able to access line of credit. I'm always looking for ways to make sure that we continue to invest in rural Missouri. Like I've said before, Kansas City and St. Louis are very important, but so is the rural land in between. And I want to make sure our rural areas are getting the incentives that they need as well.
We saw a joint resolution, which means ultimately this would go to voters that would make a change to how sheriffs are either placed or elected in our state.
Yes, I was proud to join some of my Senate colleagues as a co-sponsor on Senate Joint Resolution 42. It's a measure that received a hearing this week, actually in the Senate General Laws Committee. The legislation would ask voters to approve a constitutional amendment related to county sheriffs. Currently, the office of sheriff is not enshrined in our state constitution. This measure would establish county sheriffs as a law enforcement officer in any county that elects a sheriff. We had over 30 sheriffs show up to show support for this piece of legislation, and I think it's something that's very important that we enshrine the office of sheriff, as so many other states have done in our Missouri State Constitution.
You talked earlier about rural Missouri. Another measure of importance is one that relates to farming, and that is Senate Bill 588.
Yes, Senate Bill 588, I did combine with Senate Bill 513 this week and presented that in the Senate Economic Development and Tax Policy Committee. Senate Bill 588 helps with new farmers and beginning farmers get a leg up in their business. We want to make sure that we're able to provide some income tax deduction to beginning farmers who sell, lease, or participate in a crop share arrangement. The average farmer age is around 59 years old and is continuing to increase, and it's very hard for young farmers to get in the business just because of the cost barrier. Senate Bill 588 would definitely help that, and I look forward to, hopefully, its passage later this year.